Hello, I'm Stephanie, your quilt bestie. Today, let's make the half square triangle unit. The half square triangle unit is one of those foundational quilt units. It's probably one of the first ones you'll make as a piece block. It only takes one seam, and you'll find it all over the place. You'll find it in pinwheels, in Dutchman's puzzles, and chevrons. You'll find whole quilts made out of them, like the carpenter square. So today, let's make the 2 at a time half square triangle unit. The half square triangle block is made of 2 fabrics, and your two squares are going to be 1/2 inch larger than what you want your finished block to be. So for example, this is 3 inches. This is a 3-inch square unit. I'm going to cut my starting blocks at 3.5 inches each. I'm going to turn them right sides together and match them up very carefully in the corner. Okay. Match them up carefully in the corner. And then I'm going to mark a diagonal line, and we're going to sew on either side of that diagonal line. You want to be careful to get it really into the corner. Now, since this is going to be something we're going to cut along later, it doesn't matter if it's a regular pencil, a marking tool of some sort, a pen even. I don't recommend anything that runs, but a regular household pencil is fine. And we're just going to we're just going to mark that diagonal. You want to mark it clearly. And you can see there's our line. We're going to pin on both sides. Then we're going to take this to the machine and we're going to sew 1/4 inch on both sides of the line. Now that our blocks are marked, we're going to sew 1/4 inch away on both sides of the line, and that will, once we've sewn it and cut them apart, we'll have 2 half square triangle blocks. This is called chain piecing. When you don't break the threads between your units, you just kind of keep going, and it saves you a little bit of thread. And now to sew the other side. Okay. We'll cut these little linking threads apart. Okay. And now we'll cut we'll cut on this line and separate these 2 units. Doesn't have to be perfect, just going to be following the line essentially. Okay. Let me take the pins out before I forget. Now these little tips, they're called dog ears. I tend to cut them here, before I press it open. I tend to cut them here because I've already got the scissors in hand, so I'm just going to do that. See, and now my little ends are cut off. I'm going to do that to all the pieces. Then I'll go to the ironing board, press the units open. Okay, there's our half square triangle block. We'll press the units open and get them squared up to the final measurement. So we've gotten the two units cut apart and we've got them pressed open. And you can see, remember we were aiming for a 3-inch unit, and you could see that this is just a hair bigger than a 3-inch square, which is perfect because that enables us to square it up to the precise measurement. What you're going to do is lay your diagonal line of your ruler along the diagonal line of the block. Okay, you're going to get it lined up there. You're not going to take it perfectly to 3 because you want to trim it from all 4 sides. So scooch it up in place. Scoochy, scoochy. Scooch it up in place. Give yourself a little bit of space to be able to trim all 4 sides. Take your rotary cutter. Trim. Trim. Turn it around, and now you're going to finalize that size. In this case, again, down to 3 inches. Okay, we've got our diagonal along the diagonal of the seam. Our edges match at 3 inches. Trim. And trim. You can see doing it this way, there's not a lot of waste. There's just enough to square up, and you wind up with a block that's the size you need. So that's your half square triangle. Let's see some of the fun things we can do with the half square triangle block. So this is just one of the zillions of arrangements you can make with half square triangle blocks. I've seen flying geese made with them. Some kind of version of square in a square. Here's our chevron. There's plenty of arrangements. I've seen whole quilts made with just using half square triangle blocks. So it's an excellent beginner-friendly basic block you can master and make just a world of projects with. So that's it. That's the half square triangle block. Easy as can be, just one seam and you're good to go. You can use it in so many projects. You'll be surprised and delighted with how many ways you can use this very easy, beginner-friendly unit. If you like what you see and you'd like to see more, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And until next time, this is Stephanie, your quilt bestie, saying happy quilting.